Welcome to P Stories. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch HOA drama. Buckle up because this one's not just spicy, it's thermonuclear. Let me introduce you to a woman so diabolical, so meddling, she makes Cruella look like a guidance counselor. Her name? Karen, naturally. And not just any Karen, she's the HOA president, judge, jury, and self-declared god of the gated community known as Maplewood Estates. Now, Maplewood was supposed to be my peaceful retreat. I bought a modern, minimalist home on the far end of the cul-de-sac, paid my dues, smiled at the neighbors. I kept my lawn trimmed, threw out garbage on schedule, even waved at the dog walkers. But that wasn't enough. Not for Karen. It all started when I installed solar panels. You'd think I burned down the clubhouse with the way she reacted. She said the panels violated the aesthetic harmony of the neighborhood. I showed her the bylaws. She showed me her middle finger, legally speaking, by filing a complaint to the board and demanding I take them down. I didn't. That's when her war began. First, it was letters taped to my door, passive-aggressive and scented with cheap lavender oil. Then came fines for made-up violations. Grass too green, air conditioning unit visible from the street, and once, I kid you not, wind chimes that disturbed the migratory path of birds. I laughed. Until I came home one Friday evening and found my house completely dark. I flipped every switch, checked the breakers. Nothing. Called the electric company. They said service had been shut off per authorization from the HOA president. Excuse me? I didn't even know they could do that. Apparently, under some obscure emergency clause buried in the HOA contract, she claimed unauthorized modifications posed a safety risk and demanded my power be cut until inspection. The inspection never came. So there I was, sitting in a $900,000 home eating cold ramen in the dark, while Karen's house across the street glowed like the Vegas Strip. That's when the idea sparked. No pun intended. If they wanted to play dirty, I would go nuclear. I wasn't just going to get my power back, I was going to own the whole damn grid. I didn't scream. I didn't yell. I didn't go banging on Karen's garland-wrapped door demanding answers. No, I did what every calculating madman does when he's been wronged. I grabbed a notepad, poured myself a scotch, and started planning. You see, Karen underestimated the kind of man I am. I'm not just a tech consultant. I've got money. I've got contacts. And more importantly, I've got time and no HOA-approved hobbies. First move, I called up a buddy from college who now works in acquisitions, specifically infrastructure. I asked him one question. How much would it cost to own the company that powers this cursed cul-de-sac? He laughed. Then he paused. Then he said, actually, it might be doable. Turns out the electric company that serviced Maplewood was a small regional provider, family-owned, in debt, and quietly looking for a buyer. Within 3 weeks, I was in talks with their board. Within 5, I was their majority shareholder. Karen wanted power. She had no idea she just handed me the keys to her entire electrical existence. Now, I couldn't just shut off the power right away. That would have made me the villain, and trust me, I wanted this to be righteous. So I waited. I sent in new inspectors from my freshly bought company, clipboard guys with sunglasses and utility belts. They surveyed every home in the HOA, especially Karen's. I told them to find violations. Real or not, I didn't care. Next came the letters, official notices of electrical safety hazards. I made them sound so urgent, so terrifying, that people were begging to fix problems that didn't exist. Karen, of course, thought she was untouchable. She tore up the notice and posted a selfie with it on the community Facebook page. Big mistake. 2 days later, I pulled the switch. Not literally. Come on, I'm not a comic book villain, but I signed off on the temporary service suspension to only Maplewood Estates. The reason? Pending compliance with mandated inspections. Legal. Clean. Bulletproof. You've never heard screams like the ones that echoed that night. Karen stormed the gates of the electric office, my office, demanding answers. The receptionist gave her the number to a fake manager. Spoiler alert, it was me, using a voice modulator. I told her, due to multiple safety violations, your area is under review. Please comply. 1 day passed, then 3, then a week. No power, no air conditioning, no Wi-Fi. The HOA group chat collapsed into chaos. Karen? She was unraveling. By day 12 of the blackout, Maplewood Estates had gone full Mad Max. Garden lights powered by car batteries. Extension cords slithering across yards like suburban anacondas. People were grilling breakfast on the sidewalks, charging phones at gas stations, and holding HOA meetings by candlelight like it was the 1600s. And at the center of the misery, like a melting snowman of delusion, sat Karen, sweaty, furious, and blaming everyone but herself. She accused neighbors of sabotage, claimed I had hacked the power grid with a virus from the dark web. I heard through the grapevine she even held a seance in her living room, trying to cleanse the negative energy that had befallen the HOA. What really broke her? The smell. No AC, no freezer. Her $1,000 organic gluten-free salmon lasagna collection turned her kitchen into a compost bin with attitude. Meanwhile, I watched it all from my living room, fully powered, climate-controlled with surround sound. You see, I'd quietly rezoned my property just outside of the HOA jurisdiction before this all began. My electricity came from a private substation. Karen didn't know. None of them knew. They thought I was suffering too. Poor me, in the dark. Nope. I was sipping chilled margaritas and watching HOA members lose their minds like rats in a blackout maze. Around day 15, Karen snapped, full meltdown. She tried to organize a neighborhood uprising, marched from door to door with a battery-powered megaphone shouting things like, "We demand illumination," and "Rise up against tyranny." Neighbors slammed doors in her face. Others ignored her completely, too busy charging their iPads in their cars. Then she tried guilt. She left a handwritten note in my mailbox because, no internet, saying, "This blackout has gone too far. As a community, we are suffering. Please let's talk." I framed that letter. It sits right above my thermostat. But Karen wasn't done. She got desperate. Drove to City Hall to file a complaint, only to find out the complaint department already knew who I was and wouldn't touch the case. Everything I did, perfectly legal. The electric company, mine. The inspections, required. The outage, regrettable, but procedurally correct. And here's the kicker. Just when she thought it couldn't get worse, the HOA bank account hit zero. They'd spent it all on failed legal threats, generator rentals, and that one time Karen bought 3,000 glow sticks thinking they could light the clubhouse for a week. The walls were crumbling. Her empire was collapsing. She had one move left, and she was stupid enough to take it. Day 23. The HOA clubhouse was pitch black, overrun by mosquitoes and broken dreams. Karen, now looking like a dehydrated raccoon with a Prada visor, made her last desperate play. She tried to sue me. Bold, considering she couldn't even charge her laptop without a trip to Starbucks. She marched into small claims court wearing a neck brace and sunglasses like she was preparing for a Netflix docuseries. Her claim? Intentional psychological warfare through weaponized utility control. I nearly choked on my popcorn. She accused me of orchestrating a blackout to destroy her reputation, her property value, and her dog's sleep schedule. Her evidence? A stack of angry Facebook printouts, a half-dead flashlight, and a shaky YouTube clip of me smirking too hard at a mailbox. My lawyer? Oh, he was ready. Slick suit, shiny shoes, and the confidence of a man who knew the chessboard was already rigged. He brought documentation, emails, HOA bylaws, legal proof that I had warned the neighborhood about noncompliance and that all safety inspections had been refused. By, guess who? Karen. She'd signed her own denial letters with glitter pens. And then the twist. My lawyer submitted one final exhibit, a copy of a recorded HOA meeting, public record, mind you, where Karen gleefully bragged on camera that she personally had cut off power to the trader's house to make an example out of him. The courtroom gasped. The judge leaned back slowly, like she was letting that drama sink into her pores. Case dismissed. With prejudice. Her claim was tossed out so fast, it probably caught windburn. The judge even scolded Karen for abusing her power, lying under oath, and wasting court time. Then, with a look that could peel paint, she turned to me and said, "You may consider countersuing." Oh, I did more than consider. Within days, I filed for damages, emotional distress, loss of business, and defamation. And I won, hands down. Karen had to pay me tens of thousands in restitution. And where do you think that money came from? Not from her pockets, from the HOA reserve fund. That meant broken sprinklers stayed broken. The community pool closed indefinitely. The newsletter went silent. Karen forced to resign, publicly, at an emergency HOA meeting held in a sun-baked parking lot because, surprise, still no power. And me? I sold the power company 2 weeks later. Huge profit. Used it to install solar panels across my roof, driveway, and mailbox. Fully off-grid, fully Karen-proof. I haven't heard a word from Maplewood since, but every now and then I drive by at night. Still dark, still perfect.